Have you ever wondered how many heroes history never allowed us to remember? Not because they failed, not because they were forgotten, but because someone, somewhere, made a decision that remembering them was far too dangerous. This is the story of a man who was once called the Lion of the East, a warrior who turned tides, a leader who challenged empires, and a visionary who saw too far ahead for the comfort of kings and popes. He was a rebel to the powerful, but a savior to the oppressed. Yet his name has been erased from textbooks, his statues shattered, his victories attributed to others, and the last scroll that carried his truth was burned in silence. But some stories refuse to die. In the dust of forgotten chronicles, in the margins of censored letters, a name whispers back through time, a name that was never meant to be spoken again. And tonight we speak it. Our tale begins not in Europe, not in the great cities of Christendom or the deserts of the Holy Land, but in the twilight borderlands between East and West. The year is 1295, the Crusades are crumbling, and the Mongol Empire is splintering into civil wars. In the midst of this chaos, a child is born in the city of Ani, once the city of 1,000 churches, now a ghost of its former glory. His name was Arakil Vardan, but even that may not be his real name. He was the son of a forgotten Armenian general and a Persian mother descended from scholars. His birth was not noble, but neither was it low. His father died when he was only 5, executed for refusing to surrender his fortress to a Mongol warlord. That day, Arakil learned 2 lessons: that power devours its own, and that courage leaves echoes. By the age of 12, he was fluent in 4 languages: Armenian, Arabic, Latin, and Greek. By 16, he was already commanding raids along the trade routes between the Black Sea and Baghdad. He never fought for gold. He fought for revenge, for justice, for memory. His enemies called him a ghost. His followers called him the Forgotten Flame. But it was in 1311 that Arakil did the unthinkable. He united 3 broken armies, the remnants of Armenian rebels, outlawed Templar knights who had fled persecution in France, and defectors from a disillusioned Mongol garrison. No one had ever done this before, and no one ever would again. Together, they marched on the city of Edessa, one of the holiest cities in Christian and Muslim history. The rulers of Europe thought he was a madman. The Sultan of Cairo put a price on his head. The Pope issued a quiet decree of excommunication. And yet, he won. Edessa fell, not with blood, but with firelight and cheers. The people welcomed him. They had not seen peace in 50 years. And for the first time, a city ruled by multiple faiths was governed not by crusade or conquest, but by cooperation. He did not crown himself king. He called himself protector of memory. He opened the libraries, freed the prisoners, burned the torture racks, and for a moment, just a moment, it looked as if history would remember him. But peace, in the eyes of empire, is a dangerous thing when it doesn't come with a flag. Within weeks, whispers began to spread, that he was a heretic, that he practiced forbidden rites, that he consorted with demons in the caves beneath Edessa. Priests from both sides, Christian and Muslim, declared him a threat to divine order. His closest ally, a former Templar named Sir Gideon of Blois, was found hanging in his chambers. His death ruled a sacrifice. And then came the betrayal. A letter, sent from Venice, revealed the names of all Arakil's commanders to the Pope's inquisitors. Gold changed hands. One of his generals switched sides. And in the dead of night, Edessa was surrounded, not by an army, but by silence. The water stopped. The wells were poisoned. No swords were drawn. No battles fought. They erased him the same way you'd erase ink from a page. Slowly, deliberately, without leaving a trace. By the time the city realized what had happened, it was too late. Arakil vanished. Some say he escaped through underground tunnels into the east. Others believe he was captured, tortured, and executed in a monastery whose name no longer exists. But the truth? The stranger than either. In 1852, a group of archaeologists in eastern Turkey unearthed a crypt beneath an abandoned chapel. Inside, they found a body wrapped in crimson and black silk, preserved unnaturally well. Around his neck hung a pendant bearing 3 symbols: Armenian, Latin, and Mongol. The inscription read, "To remember is to rebel." The crypt was sealed the next day. The dig team disappeared 2 weeks later. Official records list the site as unremarkable. And once again, silence. But Arakil's legend never truly died. In the oral histories of mountain villages, songs still speak of a lion with a broken crown. In the borderlands, elders tell of a warrior who would return when the world forgot the meaning of truth. And if you dig deep enough, in libraries that were never digitized, in pages bound in dust and blood, his name reappears. Not as a footnote, but as a warning. He was a man who built unity in an age of division, who embraced complexity when the world demanded purity, who stood at the crossroads of civilization and dared to imagine a path no empire wanted walked. He was too loyal to no nation, too beloved by too many, too dangerous to be remembered. So ask yourself, how many Arakils have we lost? How many heroes were buried, not in earth, but in silence? And if truth really sets us free, why are we so afraid to remember those who spoke it? Perhaps it's because deep down we know the most dangerous thing in history is a man who cannot be controlled. And sometimes forgetting is not an accident. It's an order.